real at every angle. If you a real they hate you with everything they got. They can't stand it.
You can't. I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like
Bro,
this.
listen. We out here
what
getting
kind of content.
You're not gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty. Y'all beat him up. He wanted me in the dirt and was trying to rock me to sleep. He knew where I was at.
Y'all, Gene Deal just got jumped outside a reunion with some former Bad Boy staff. And it looks like it wasn't random at all. 3 masked dudes came out of nowhere and ran up on Gene as he was leaving the event. And you already know this all points back to Diddy. But get this, Katt Williams is now publicly showing his support for Gan. And now there's talk of Katt and Gene teaming up on some secret project to expose more dirt on Diddy and the whole industry. So this all comes just days after Gan did another explosive interview about Diddy. And he revealed some things he never talked about before, like how he almost died working for Diddy back in the day, how he was thrown into wild situations, lied to, and never paid what he was promised. And just days after this interview, right after Diddy gets cleared of the RICO charges, Gene gets jumped. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. Gene's been warning people about Diddy for years, and it looks like Diddy now feels untouchable because he managed to beat RICO. However, Gan and Katt Williams are not backing down. They're planning to expose something major about the industry, and it looks like it's making Diddy real nervous.
This dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. That goes to show you what kind of dude.
So here's what Gene says happened. He was leaving this reunion event just days after the Diddy verdict was read, and out of nowhere, 3 dudes in masks rolled up on him and tried to jump him. However, Gene later denied that they beat him up, and he made it clear he's not the one to play with.
What I look like getting beat up? What a grown man look like, somebody smacking him around, hitting him and all this shit like that. I ain't taking no ass whooping. I ain't took an ass whooping since the fucking doctor spanked me on my fucking ass. I ain't took an ass whooping since my mama and my daddy. When they stopped taking it, I guess I'm got amnesia. I don't know what an ass whooping look like or feel like.
Gan also said he's not. Surprised Diddy would send someone after him because he already had plans back in the day to take him out.
It came to life for y'all. It came to life for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. Because I was having meetings with serious dudes in the street. And he refused to sit down. So what did he do? He tell his security team. He didn't tell the NYPD officers. He didn't tell the Department of Correction officers. He didn't tell none of the parole officers or anybody he had working for him that was officers. He told street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty. Y'all beat him up. He ain't tell him to beat me up. He didn't tell him that. He wanted me in the dirt and was trying to rock me to sleep. He knew where I was at.
Now, if you've been following Gan at all, you already know Diddy has a lot of reasons why he'd want Gene gone for good. Gan has been going on podcasts, interviews, and anywhere with a mic and exposing things about Diddy that no one else talks about. Now, a lot of people accused Gan of clout chasing, but see, Gene started talking about Diddy years before Cassie even filed her lawsuit. And all the receipts are still up on Gene's YouTube channel. There are old videos there from years ago of Gan just talking in his kitchen and spilling the tea about Diddy, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie's death, Kim Porter, and all that other stuff that most people never paid attention to until Diddy was put on trial. And now, just days after Diddy beat the RICO charge, someone tries to jump Gan. That timing is too clean. Now, Diddy had a lot of opportunities to do something to Gan before all this legal mess started. However, he probably knew no one was paying attention to Gene's videos back then. But now that Gene became #1 source for all the tea on Diddy's past, it's a different story. And with Diddy beating that RICO case, he probably feels like he's unstoppable now, and he's out for revenge. In fact, it's already being reported in the media that Diddy has a revenge list ready for when he gets out of jail. Now, here's what happened right after that incident with Gene. The internet blew up and everyone is saying the same thing, that Diddy wants Gene dead. Because at this point, Gene's not just some random ex-bodyguard. He's one of the few people from the bad boy circle still alive and still talking. And even people who used to clown Gene and claimed he was clout chasing are now listening. But it's not just fans. Gan is getting support from other people in the industry, including 50 Cent and Katt Williams. 50 posted an old photo of him and Gene and wrote in the caption, "Yo, y'all saw this ish." But the real surprise was Katt Williams' reaction. Katt posted this cryptic message on his IG that read, "The most dangerous anger comes from a person with a good heart. They hold it in, stay calm, smile, laugh, forgive until one day they can't take it anymore. Stop pushing good people too far." Now, Gene and Katt are not the type of dudes to run for cover or backtrack when things get dicey. However, fans are genuinely worried for them because they fear that once Diddy gets out of prison, he will be an even bigger menace than he was. One fan said, "P. Diddy gonna come out of there worse than ever. It's going to be like he never left, but worse." And someone else wrote, "Of course they're in danger. Look what he's already done and gotten away with, going back to the nines." As for Katt, he's been targeted many times in the past, just like Gan. He also claimed they tried to institutionalize him, take away his children, and even try to unalive him. Now, when it comes to Diddy, Katt's been just as outspoken as Gan Deal, and he's been calling out Diddy for years and dropping hints that Diddy and some of his industry friends were mixed up in some really dark stuff.
Because here's the whole thing, you gonna charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Because it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my babies? Yikes.
And on top of that, Katt's been talking for years about those industry parties and how some of these big names in the industry use them to link up with other men behind the scenes.
Back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed.
Right. He said he got arrested over 30 times. Yeah. No convictions.
I'm getting close.
Go ahead.
But it's been about 30 for him. It's been 8 for me.
Yes.
He beat felony, I beat felony.
But lately, Katt's been switching up how he talks about those mansion parties. And now it's getting way darker. He's now saying it's not just secret hookups for men on the DL, but some real ritual type stuff going on behind closed doors.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, king of them. You asked me, baby.
And what's interesting is that this is something that Gene Deal also exposed a long time ago. In one of the old videos on his YouTube channel, Gan claimed Diddy was throwing these ritual parties for the full moon where he and other men would do some type of idol worship before the freak-off started.
Motherfucker gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you down and look in the wrong room and nigga, come here. Is that two kissing?
And since Katt and Gene have no plans to stop talking and exposing the industry, their lives could be in danger once Diddy gets out. However, it looks like Katt and Gan are prepared for what's coming. And according to insiders, they were actually seen meeting up last week. And get this, there's now talk that Katt and Gene might be working on something together. Now, we still don't know for sure what kind of project they want to work on. It could be a podcast, a docu-series, or maybe even something bigger like their own production company. But either way, something big is coming. And one source said Katt and Gene have actually been in touch for months trying to put together some type of truth project about the industry. Katt also recently announced he's launching his very own music studio, and he said he wants to work on the type of projects Hollywood would never allow him to make. So if the reports are true about Gan, Deal teaming up with Katt, it would explain why Diddy would want to shut Gene up now before it drops. Because if Gene's got receipts and Katt's got the platform, that's a full-blown problem. And not just for Diddy, but for the whole corrupt industry. And here's the thing. Ever since that attack, Gene's whole energy shifted. As you all know, he's been telling stories about Diddy for years. But now he's talking different. The interviews feel sharper and more raw, like the last bit of restraint is gone. Gene is not sugarcoating anything, and you can hear it in his voice that he's pissed. In his latest sit-down on the Art of Dialogue, Gene went off on people celebrating Diddy beating the RICO charge, and he broke it down for these people to show exactly what type of person they're celebrating.
People wearing dresses. No, it's not.
Is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular.
And when asked if he still feels the same way about Diddy as he did before the verdict, Gene straight up said, Diddy deserves to be buried.
I don't understand that. And I think that he had almost told off on himself when he spoke about the winter solstice. And that's when the pagans and people who believe in the cult was looking for that moon on 12/12 at 12 a.m. And they were doing spiritual rituals at that time. That's when that was going to be the last day of the full moon. And that means that the seasons and all that stuff has changed. But when you get into that spiritual realm stuff, it was when people they went and they paid homages to certain sacrifices and homages to certain idols. And on the third day, they would drink, party, be merry, and the men would have sex with each other. If you don't believe it, look it up for yourself. It was the last day of the full moon. And because it landed on 12/12 at 12, that's when ritual sacrifices and prayers and everything was given to certain idols. And on the third day, they drank, they be merry and be happy, and the men would give gifts to each other and have sex with each other. So it was bigger than that.
And he gave his day on my man's birthday. 3 days after the full moon. 3 days after the last moon on 12/12 a.m.
Now, some people think Gene is doing too much, especially when he said Diddy should end up like Epstein. But Gann made it clear that that's exactly what Diddy deserves. He also recalled how there were many situations when he nearly lost his life protecting Diddy, only for Diddy to turn around and put a hit on him. But that's not even the main reason. Gann said Diddy deserves to be buried. For Gene, it's not about what Diddy did to him, but all the evil stuff he did to so many innocent people.
For a psychotic, narcissist, a sociopath sex offender, abusing and degrading women, beating on them, brother, and having them appease him and his homosexual tendencies by letting random men, prostitutes, male prostitutes, brother, ejaculate their sexual juices on them so he can lick them off. Is this what's happening in the fucking hood now? Is that what's good in the hood? Tell me, is that what's happening in the streets, brother? Is that what the industry that came down to now? They celebrating him. And it's strange, bro. How they celebrating this demon, bro. They celebrating this demon. Do you understand that?
Now, as for people saying that Gene's life is still in danger, especially once Diddy gets out of prison, Gene said he's not worried at all because he knows Diddy better than most people and he can protect himself.
I'ma say the same shit about Diddy, but in my way. I'm not here to praise this nigga. I'd rather see him buried. And y'all can say and feel however you want to. Because that's the way he felt about people we all used to be around and love. This dude is psychotic. I don't care what you say, bro. You look at some of the stuff that he did, and like I say, that's what's good in the hood now. That's how y'all getting down now. Licking another man's sperm off his girl. Beating women. Cause man, the nigga still going to jail. I don't care for him. I don't give a fuck about him. Him, anybody who looked like him, got his last name and came in on a boat with him.
But for you to say he should hang himself, I mean, that's a little extreme. I mean, what did he do for you to feel like that?
Bruh, I never really discussed the fact that my issues with my job, with nobody. You understand? Because people don't realize is that, let me sit up in this a little bit. You know, I know people gonna say what they want to say. People don't realize this, brother, that it's a lot of shit that happened with us as far as when you go do a security job and you're willing to die for somebody. We was in situations that I could have lost my life protecting him, but that's what I'm getting paid for. I never fought this dude for me. I fought because of what he was doing to other people. And I don't understand why it's so hard. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I could bodyguard myself with his blessings. I could bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. What you eat don't make me shit. So I'm gonna talk about whatever I wanna talk about. If you got a problem with it, tough titty. I have been talking about this character. I've been talking about this shit. Even today, I'ma continue to.
So, for everyone who thought Gann would backtrack or go away after the Diddy verdict, Gann just proved them wrong. He's got a lot more to expose and will keep speaking out no matter what the cost. Diddy thought intimidation would quiet Gene down, but it did the opposite. Here's the thing. Gene's been spilling a lot of tea already, but insiders are saying the real stories haven't even hit yet. Gann is sitting on some crazy receipts from audio clips, messages, even video footage that could prove some of the darkest rumors, not just about Diddy, but about other powerful people in the industry. And now that Gene is teaming up with Katt Williams, you already know this is going to be huge. But here's something else that's barely getting talked about. There are reports going around that 50 Cent isn't just throwing out support for Gann on social media for clicks. He's actually linking up with Gann and Katt behind the scenes. Insiders say 50's been pushing for this ever since he started working on his Diddy Do It documentary. But Gann and Katt only just finally gave the green light after the verdict. And after everything that's happened, let's just say, some people in the industry are not going to sleep